everybody, what's going on? Kyle here, and I'm the Geekin Dad, and today I am talking about one very simple thing, but one very important thing. What you park your butt in when you're playing your video games. Yep, today's video is going to be all about this year-long review process that I've been in for my personal gaming slash content creation slash work from home chair. This is the chair that I sit in every evening when I come home from work, when I am working on stuff for the channel or playing games. This is the Maxnomic Titanus XL from NeedForSeatUSA.com. So, first things off the bat, I have to give my inspiration for this video to another fairly popular tech tuber who happens to have the same name as me, Kyle, also known as Bitwit. So he did a video like a year and a half, 2 years ago, I'm not sure how long ago now, about the Maxnomic office chair that he received from them, and was really intrigued about that chair, about his review, and I really thought that he put a great review together about that chair, which really made it stand apart from the classic DX Racer in my mind. When I moved into this new apartment a little over a year ago now, back in January of 16, it was time to get some new office furniture, and my old chair wasn't cutting it anymore. Had terrible back support, terrible rolling abilities, super uncomfortable to sit on for more than 10 minutes. I mean, it was just a god-awful chair, but it got me through. So in doing my research, I debated back and forth between the DX Racer and the Maxnomic, and it was his review that kind of pushed me to the side of the Maxnomic line of chairs. Now, before we go any further, I want to say first and foremost, this is not a cheap chair. This chair right now on their website, as of recording this video, is $560, 559.00 on their website, the US dollars, of course. So it is by no means a cheap chair. But when you're paying $560 for a box that weighs 80 or so pounds to be delivered to your door, you expect something that is going to withstand the test of time. And so while originally my intention was to definitely do a review like a week or two after using it, I realized that that wasn't a fair evaluation of something worth this much money, something that you were going to spend this much money on. A year, like a week or two or even a month, really, in my opinion, wasn't a fair valuation of the chair. So I decided, you know what, we're going to put this chair on hold. We're going to use the crap out of it. We're going to let my kid use the crap out of it, my wife, and now my second kid mess with it. We're going to come back a year later to see just how well this thing stands up. I gotta say, I am really impressed. Assembling this chair is definitely a two-person job, and it took probably closer to 20 to 30 minutes with the help of my wife and my little helper, as you can see, to put this whole thing together. But coming out of the box, the packaging was really well done. There were no issues, no defects. And, you know, kind of pulling it all out, I didn't have any concerns about it either because of how well thought out the packaging was. Things were protected. Things were placed in a manner in which it conserved space, but also made sure that there wasn't going to be any risk of damaging another part of the chair, because you put one part here that has a metal piece and another part that has a nice soft piece next to it. Like, there wasn't any risk of that, in my opinion. They give you all the tools you need to put this together, and it went really well, and surprisingly, considering some of the chairs that I've seen, the reviews have been not so great in the putting it together process. The build quality on this thing is amazing. It's a PE leather, so it's not real leather, but it's a very sturdy, good feeling leather that is really well conditioned and has maintained its shape and color extremely well. The frame of this is completely different compared to the DX Racer, and if you go to their website, you can see the breakdown of the DX Racer versus the Maxnomic. And I think that the differences kind of stand for themselves when sitting on this as a big guy like myself. There's plenty of adjustments on this chair, from how high or low you want to sit, to how tight you want the retention to be when you rock back and forth on the tilt, to the position of the back itself to go from I'm dying and I'm being folded up to I can take a nap in this thing, as well as the armrests having what they call their 40 range of motion, if you will, which allows you to adjust the armrests up, down, side to side, front and back, and tilt it inwards or outwards to fit your comforts, your needs, and depending on what you're doing. This thing has all of the bells and whistles that you would expect for this price point. The one thing, though, that it does not have, while it has just about everything you would want, the one thing that it does lack, in my personal opinion, is a proper lumbar adjustment for your lumbar support for your lower back. Outside of that, this thing has been fantastic to sit in. The stitching on this, after an entire year and some of use, of daily use, has held up flawlessly. From what I can see, there are no issues with the stitching whatsoever. There are beautifully well made. The stitching in this one with the orange and black has a very nice contrast that I really like the look of. For $559, you are paying a lot of money. You're also getting a lot of chair. There's so much more that I could go into about this chair, and in fact, I do down in the article. You'll find the description down below. But some of the highlights are this. This particular chair that I have, the Titanus XL, is meant for people that are large. I fall under that category, weighing over 300 pounds. Of course, I'm not as large as I could be, and I'm definitely not as small as I could be. But I felt when purchasing this chair that I fit in the large category. When they say large, they mean people who are like 6'4" to 6'8", give or take, in height range, as, you know, based on their website, that's the sweet spot for people who are going to use this chair. And I can say that after having used it for a long time, I have to keep this chair at its lowest settings in order to comfortably sit with my feet planted on the ground. If I go all the way up to its highest setting, I can't really reach the ground, and if I lean back at all, I'm definitely not touching the ground. This chair is definitely meant for taller people and larger people. The wings on the butt don't quite touch me, which is actually kind of comfortable for me. I'm not gonna lie, I think if I was constantly feeling squished in on my legs, I would be a little uncomfortable and annoyed with that. And the base itself, with its 5 wheels, also is a really nice wide base to allow you to have the freedom to lean back all the way, like I've already demonstrated. I'm really happy to say that I'm just as comfortable on this chair on day 400 as I was on day 1. Again, $560 is not cheap by any stretch of the imagination, and this chair is definitely not for you if you can't afford that. There are definitely great, more cost-friendly options out there. But for me, and my butt, and my back, this was and still is extremely worth it. If you'd like to read more and get a little bit more information about the details of it and things like that, you should definitely check out the link to the article down in the description below. There I've got a write-up about it where I go in more detail. And if you're thinking about picking up a chair, let me know down in the comments below what you're thinking about picking up, what kind of price range you're looking at, and what features you look for when picking up a chair that you're going to game in or work in for the office or content creation or what have you. I'd love to hear your feedback. Do the doobly-doo of the likes and the dislikes and those things too. Feel free to subscribe if you think I've earned it. I would appreciate it. But until next time, geek on.